She said, might as well go ahead and tell the story. And as it comes to be, good glass of buttermilk right there. When I poured them glasses of buttermilk, I held back just a little bit in the carton. So, anticipating that the combination of the two will warrant a return trip to the cupboard to retrieve that just a very little bit of buttermilk left in the carton. But it's time lost, the equation that you would have to do to calculate that. So she said, she said, might as well go ahead and discuss it, you know, get it off your chest, so to speak. So I'll tell it to you that the story is, this very last weekend or so, a couple of weekends back, you know, in the realm of time, not even more than a day ago, to philosophize on it, I guess. But the crossings of life, our pathways, it just happened to me this weekend to the point where I would share it with my YouTube readers. Is I have a family member that is very intelligent. Something to do with the college or the university or something like that. A higher level of learning, they say. Most people gets lost talking to the dude. But you know, I'm right there with him. You know what I mean? He ain't told me nothing that I did not comprehend, and would have very much liked to have debated the issue, but I chose not to. I would hope that we would debate that at some point in time. A couple of papers that the dude was writing, and I do feel a friendship with this person. So, but I think his field of study at that point in time, at this college or university, higher learning, was that I think it was, you know, lost time. You know, like when you go to work and you maybe cost lost in production. You know, like if you have this factory and you get this order from this company for 100 of these. Okay, the company says, yeah, go ahead and build me 100 of them. Okay, as when you start building these items, 100 of them, let's say that it don't matter what you decide, how you decide to build them now. I'm just going to pick one at random. Let's say that you're going to cast these items. And not that in particular, it's just an example, a parable of the whole story. I mean, the Bible was a parable from start to ending. So, you know, somebody has to pick up the ball and run with it. Just tonight, in a conversation. Boy, it's cold here in Middle Tennessee tonight, too. Yo, mark that on your calendar. Man, just get the pencil out now and mark it down. It is cold in Middle Tennessee. Whew. They're not frozen off out there. To the bone. But during the conversation, Fibber and McGee, you know, an old time radio duo, Fibber and McGee, something like that. People sat around radio and listened to that stuff and form in their minds a vision of what's going on. You know what I mean? And if there's 4 people in the room, 3 of them disagreed with the other one and what they thought it was. Just human nature. I'm just saying. Up here tonight, let me tell you, I'm on up to it. I told you way on in the very, very beginning. In the very beginning, I told y'all, see if I ain't telling you the truth as good as I can, best to my recollection, is when something came up, I pretty not neglected to tell you about this right here. And this was what prompted the whole thing. The kid folks I met a few days ago that triggered a memory back to what he worked at, and he wrote these papers on it, and was a printed, you know what I mean? I don't know what I mean, what the word is, it don't come to me. He was accredited or something in this field of study or something like that, you know. But what it was it was lost in production. Say that they were going to build 100 of these things for me, and say the first 10 that they ran down this factory assembly line, somebody messed it up down the way with something they did. But anyways, the 10 of them was lost immediately till they got that problem fixed. Maybe they drilled a hole in the wrong place or something. They did that. Okay, you know what I mean? In that is not permissible. That's too much loss. You know what I mean? That company suffered a loss when somebody did, because I would not have paid them for them parts that they didn't make correct. So, you know, the dude at the place down there has to eat that profit. But anyways, he did this study, something, I don't know what to call it, and in that field of study. And that's where this comes into play right here. This is a good example of the way I seen the problem. Let's say these little brownies right here, in this bowl I got them right here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 of these little double brownie things, and I had them in the freezer there for safekeeping. Been gone a week or 2. Come back and drug them out of that, snatched them out of that freezer, and they're froze hard on the rock. But these little things right here is really good. It's got them little sparklers on there, if I can describe it to you. Yep. See, that's where patience comes into play. Whew. Lord, I was blessed with a lot of patience. Gosh. Anyways, that's being that little part right there come off the corner of this one right here. Let's see how they're at. Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, looked out on that. But man, it was good. You make them a little store-bought brownie. You know, I think it's $3 for the box. As far as pleasures in my life goes, this right here is about good as it gets. You know what I mean? Ice cold brownie. Don't forget that buttermilk there. But where I saved the time, where I figure I'm ahead on this right here. Okay. Immediately, when I was over there to the sideboard, to the freezer to get to how many I had left, get them over yonder, get them unbagged, and put them in this bowl. You don't want to, this is all I had. So, I kind of used this, logic, let's say. Country boy logic, I figured before it's over with, you know what I mean? Before it's over with, I'm going to eat them all. You know what I mean? Okay, then that's where the probably the debate would come into be. And if you need to get a pencil, just go ahead and get it now. I'll tell you kind of what the problem is, so you can work it out like a blueprint. I don't know how many foot it is over yonder. It's like about 25 foot. I'm gonna say judge it. You know what I mean? Does any of these items outweigh the others in a, let's say, a mathematical equation? If I get one brownie and come over here, sit down, I'll be sitting here thinking, that was pretty good. There you go. Look right here, I'll tell you what. If worst come to worst in the situation, then I've done it in the past. So, how much energy does it take me to get one brownie, come over here, sit down, and consume the before mentioned brownie? Okay, immediately, I'm going to want another one. So I get up and I go over yonder, I get the brownie, go back and do that right there, do everything again. Come over here, sit down, and, that brownie gone. Don't mean nothing. So, I'm going to go again. So in the meantime, I've made and once that much time goes by, I would have made a side trip. You know what I mean? If I'm up out fooling around there, I'll be off over doing something. So, I'm not saying I'm burning calories or nothing like that, but I'll tell you what, these are tough little buggers right here when they cold. You can, and them little sparklers right there, if you push them down in there, they won't fall off on you. It's just a tilt. But they're really chewy when they're cold. You know what? There is a reason behind it. Somebody said he said that 4 times in that video. Well, okay, it just kind of pictures right here. You're sitting at home, and your computer screen went blank. You couldn't see nothing on the computer. There was no video. Video was gone completely. But you could fool around on the keypad, type in some stuff. And you could hear your computer as if it was a radio. You had the audio. Perfect. Perfect audio, but no video. Absolute. So, I kind of have that person in mind when I describe things to, you know, just saying. So, my way of thinking was, I should just go ahead and get all 4 of them, 5, if they were 4. I still have some more left, but I lucked out on it. Just saying. So I decided to cut the walking short. I just went on ahead and got all 4 of these delicious little brownie mustard, delicious little things. I got them all at one trip. So, you know, I could pretty much say that I saved mine. It's like, I'm not going to do the math on it, you know. It's from here to there. Ever how many steps that is, that ambling stride, you know what I mean. I'm just saying there's a mathematical way to do it. Well, immediately press them little sugar bombs right there. Them little sugar things, immediately press them down in your brownie. Oh. I throwed some taters in that oven this evening. Boy, you talk about some good taters. Man, I can bake a tater. Was, I did, I mean, there ain't no secret to it. I'll tell you anything I know. Actually, I don't usually do it this way. But I bathed them taters. I took them taters and cut a couple of bad places away, washed them real good, and I bathed them taters, oiled them down real good with some extra virgin olive oil. I mean, it's a store brand, but it's slick. Anyways, I soaked them taters down with that oil and ground some sea salt onto them. Well, I'll describe it to you in case you ain't got no video. That salt grinder I have, it has 3 settings on it. The first one is really fine as it is table salt and goes up from there about that granule. Actually, it's a little bit more finer than table salt. It's really salty when it's that fine of a grind. And the next one is pretty decent, but if you set it on that 3rd one, I mean, you getting some sea salt out then. You know what I mean? It just goes lightly through there, it falls. But anyway, it's good in a certain occasion. You can't hardly get by without it. So, I'm just describing it for the viewers that ain't got no video. That's all it is. Leave a comment if you would. Pass it on even. That's more better. Pass it on. But you know, how do you account for the gain or the loss involved in this simple act of what I did just now? For the energy it would take for me to tote all 4 of these little brownies over here at one trip, as compared to me making the 4 trips, or whatever it figures out to be, over here to get 4 different brownies at one individual time. Well, I know what you're saying. I actually do know that probably, and sometimes I do it myself. don't know that you're right on the tip of your seat anticipating, just waiting eagerly for the answer to the question. Buttermilk and brownies. Now life is good.